everyone, my name is Savannah, and today we're talking about Prehistoric Kingdoms Update 7, which came out yesterday or the day before. I'm not quite sure when I'm going to be able to get this video out, but you get the point. It came out a couple days ago, and this update is majorly focused around challenge mode stuff. So, although so far I have only played sandbox mode, I am very excited to keep hearing updates that actually improve the gameplay and in challenge mode. So let's go over exactly what is coming. But before we get into Update 7 itself, I have a little bit of an update put out by Prehistoric Kingdom about the next update already, Update 8. As a brief aside, we'd like to quickly touch on the next release, Update 8. This update is going to be quite a major one for the game, including a brand new species and completely reworked animal locomotion. Due to the amount of ongoing work required, the update is expected to go live in June. So we do have a little whiles to wait for the next update, but it sounds like it's going to be a big one. So while we wait for that, let's go ahead and talk about what was added in Update 7. So we're here in my sandbox desert park. You can see the Dilophosaurus habitat that we built in the background. And before we look at what is in front of us, I want to go to the research tab, because in the research tab, this energy tab is new. And you can see we now have lots of research little modules to unlock improved power and more efficient power, more eco-friendly power. I love that they implemented, wind turbines. We've got wind turbines there, improved wind energy there. We have solar panels, geothermal power plants, things like that. So that is all added under the research tab as energy. And then if we go back to my little screen here and scroll over, we have a lot of new little energy objects, modules, I guess these are called. So we have, let me get into this here. We have, what is this one? The backup battery, the power generator. This one right here is a bigger power generator. We have a solar panel and a couple wind turbines. And then back behind these are actually prefab placeable builds that you can put into your park. And you can see this one has, 2, 4, 6, 8. Savannah can count solar panels. We've got some with a bunch of backup batteries, a little generator. We've got the bigger wind turbines, but still with some backup batteries in the middle. So we have all of that can be placed in your park. I like this one because it has like a little parking lot with it as well. So like your workers park here, and then it's like a whole power plant behind these little gates. And whoever the dev was that built the gates and the fences and stuff did a fantastic job. Same thing with this one. It's got like a little house to it, a little building to it. Nobody's gonna live at your little solar panel. I mean, maybe. But anyway, a little building, little parking spot here surrounded by a gate. So there are our little modules for power. So that is the first little bit of update. The next does bring me back over to here, and that is going to be new modules for both a shopping store. Wow, Savannah can speak today. A new store, shopping center, that's what it's called, and a restaurant. So if we head back over to research very quickly, we can see under structures and technology, we now have under basic structure kit, restaurant here and shopping center here. And those are the two little modules that we have. And I have to say, look at how good this module looks. Like, this is amazing, absolutely amazing. The only other thing that I could possibly ask for from this is all of these things in individual pieces. But I'm a bit crazy, and I know that the most players are not going to want all of these pieces as individual pieces. They aren't going to want to create their own gift shops like that. But I think these are great just as is. They're absolutely beautiful. The detail, I mean, look at this. This is dinosaur footprints. How cool is that? It even has it as Dryo paints and Nasudo paints. Like, how cool. There's prices on there and everything. It does bother me that the $sign is in front of the 25 here and behind the 30 there. But that's okay. We'll ignore that. I am a bit of a special human and notice stupid things like that. But it looks so good. It looks so good. I mean, down to the detail of like there is a dryo paints on the counter here. We have some quick little, probably high margin items where the store would make a little bit more money. Those are the kind of stuff that you want to put out in front on your counter, the things you make most money on, the little impulse buy things. Down to the computer, the receipt tape coming out of the receipt machine. We have a little credit card machine here. It's just, it's beautiful. Crown EOS, the operating system there for their cash registers. We've got some puzzles, tumblers, water bottles. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Is that a mug? A planter? Maybe it's supposed to be a mug, but that is a rather large mug if it is a mug, because the mugs are up here. So I don't really know what this is, but very, very cool for a shopping center, a little gift shop. And then if we go over here, we have a new module for restaurants. And same thing, very highly detailed. We got our little drink machine over there, utensils, ketchup bottles. We've got some donut and bakery items on the counter. Same little, what are these? Oh, sauropod snacks is what these little bars are. We've got some meals ready to go out, detailed menus, a little salad bar, which is great. We've got our trash cans. And then it does say in future updates that guests will be able to sit at the restaurant booths, but right now they don't. They kind of just come in and walk around that. And then with that, we also got a prefab for the restaurant. Very well done. Like I said, the devs are really putting in the time and the effort to make these prefabs very detailed, very beautiful. So we have that. You can just kind of plop this thing down in your park and you're ready to go. On the topic of prefabs, we also have this aviary, this walk-in aviary, and you can come right on in. And you can see here, this is actually the aviary module here, where you can place your animals, and so they will stay within this center part. But it is built to look like a walkthrough. So you'll come in here and realistically, the animal would be able to fly all over the place, which I don't know anything about the little flying animals that they have in the game. Are they safe to be around? I mean, I guess that's a question we don't really know because they never existed with humans, but I guess we're just going to say that they're nice little flying animals. And I think this is great. Again, detail on this one is beautiful. I actually did have a thought occur to me. I think it might be cool if I did a kind of remodel on it. This is absolutely beautiful, but I have some ideas on how I would want to build one. And so I thought it might be cool to do like a little series on like rehabbing prefabs or something like that. Not that they need to be rehabbed again. They are beautiful and gorgeous. But I don't know, you know, like in The Sims 4, people do videos where they like remodel like dev built houses and stuff like that. So I thought that might be a cool idea. Let me know down in the comments below if you'd like to see that specifically with this walkthrough aviary, because I do have some ideas. And of course, now that we have workshop support, I can throw it up there for you guys to download when I finish it. And then last but not least, we have this big gift shop. I love the open concept of all this glass in the front. And then you walk in, this one's actually 2 of the modules, 2 little gift shops. So there's one over there and one on this side. And it just looks so good put all together. It looks like a complete built gift shop, right? It's gorgeous. I love it. So you can go ahead and plop that down. If you really wanted to, you could probably split this down the middle and use one half somewhere and the other half somewhere, like put a path down the middle or something like that. But I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. So there is our power and our new modules that are added to the game with this update. Next, we're going to go down to our terraforming tab and go to our vegetation tab. We now have Biome Vegetation presets. 22 vegetation presets have been added across all the current biomes, allowing for quick and convenient habitat construction. These presets have been curated to provide appealing plant combinations in as few clicks as possible. So you can see here we have desert cacti, we have desert shrubs, desert oasis, and desert bushland. Obviously all the desert biome presets. But then if we switch, we have tropical ones as well. We have wetland ones. Scrubland has 2. Temperate has 3. Coastal has 4. And then boreal has 2. So if we go back to desert, what you can see here is, let me go ahead and reduce the size. If I take the, what was this one? Desert cacti one and do the paintbrush, it's going to only put down cacti and like low-lying shrubs. But then if we do this one here, this one's going to be, what was this one? This was desert shrubs. So a little bit bushier of a paintbrush. Then we have desert oasis where we're going to get some palm trees. And then last but not least, desert bushland. If we put this one down, this one has a combination of low-lying shrubs and then those trees with like the little white yellow flowers in it. So really quick way. I obviously have these ones really dense, but you don't have to have them be that intense if you want just a, let's lower the density on this one. If you just want like a few cactus here and maybe you want to combine it with some trees like so, really easy to create an environment that matches whatever it is you want your habitat to be. So I think that's fantastic. However, for the people that still want to create custom stuff, you can go over here to all biome plants, and then we have everything that's in the desert biome, and you can select and deselect things to appear in your paintbrush just like we could before. So that still exists. So just a little quality of life thing that's not going to be applicable for every type of player, but it's nice if that is the type of player that you are. This is a really nice one. I really like this desert oasis one with all the palm trees. I think it's beautiful. But it's a really good way to easily landscape a habitat very quickly. Now for this next one, I needed to create some little subtle hills and terrain variation because terrain flattening and adapting foliage is part of the update. So important modules such as feeders, hay beds, kiosks, and bathrooms will now flatten the terrain when placed below or close to the ground. So if we go down here, let's just grab like a feeder or something like that. If we grab this, you can see the ground is really uneven, and previously if you placed it, it would just stay there. But if I place this here, it flattens the terrain all around it. So if you're familiar with how Planet Zoo works, very, very similar. We can also go down here and grab, if I hit the right tab, we can grab a little building right here, bathroom. It raises the terrain around it. So it makes it a lot easier instead of having to make sure your terrain is completely flat and everything before you place something. What I didn't test is, let me see if this will actually go through. Okay, so you can't raise the terrain up, but I'm assuming if you uncheck this, you will be able to. Let me see. Beautiful. I love that. Because sometimes, like especially with enrichment items in Planet Zoo specifically, I like to kind of half hide them underground. So if you take this and maybe lower the intensity way, way down, you can get this to look like it's just food laid on the ground, and you can completely hide the little tray for that. So it's a really easy way to build in whatever style you're wanting to build. So I absolutely love that you can toggle on and off this respect structures tab and then have it, behave appropriately. The next thing is going to be for foliage. So floating foliage will now be detached from the terrain, allowing players to terraform without disruption. Plants placed below the terrain will maintain their height offset even with terrain adjustments, which again is great because I had previously built and things would just kind of pop up out of the ground once I'd place them down. I'm assuming if we again select or deselect the respect structures. Oh, no, actually. How does this one work? Furthermore, the paintbrush will no longer place foliage on top of paths, fences, and module. Oh, that's a good one. So that's saying if we go to this little paintbrush here and we try to paint across like a module, it's not going to put oh, it is. Respect structures. Maybe I have to click that. Let's see. Is that going to work? There we go. So you have to have the respect structures little thing toggled on, but I can place foliage all around the building and it's not going to go in the building or over paths or anything like that. Now, the only thing that I need to figure out here is this one. So in the little clip that I'm watching, this is exactly what it does, is it raises all of these plants. Now, I'm wondering if we place down a plant individually, let's just take this like Alaskan yellow cedar, for example, and we shift and put this way down into the ground, will our terrain... It will. So it'll maintain its height underground, but it's still going to raise it. And then I'm assuming maybe if we uncheck this, no, it still raises it. Okay, so that's interesting. Easier to make sure that your plants don't like pop up out of the ground, because previously what would happen if I did that, if I clicked this, it would snap all the way to the bottom of the trunk and it would basically make it look like that. And so all of the plants that I kind of sunk into the ground would pop up. I'm a little bit bummed, and maybe I'm just missing something, but I'm a little bummed it doesn't work quite like this, where you can't then raise the terrain around the plants, but still a good quality of life update for plants. And now we have a, random little tree on a hill. Beautiful. And last but not least is an update that I'm not quite sure I fully understand, I have to admit. It's modular prefab update. So modular prefabs will now be placed from their modular grid height. This change gives players a consistent placement height to work with, allowing you to better curate the placement experience of custom prefab. As this is a structural change, it might affect several user prefabs that have been made prior to this modification. To get around this, simply shift the height of all of the group's pieces, quickly selectable through box selection or Control A, to match where they should meet the ground relative to the grid's height. So what I think this means is that when you create a blueprint or a prefab, as Prehistoric Kingdom calls them, it will remember where on the building you have it in relationship to the ground. And when that prefab gets placed, it will snap to that level. So in the case of Planet Zoo, I'm going to use it as an example again. Many of the blueprints, I will place a sign that says like, hide me, and that will tell us how high the item should be placed, so that any items that we want intentionally sunk into the ground will be placed that way when somebody places the prefab or the blueprint. What I'm reading this as is that the game will know how high you've built it in relationship to the ground, and when it gets placed down, it will be placed at that level. And if I'm understanding that correctly, that is amazing. It just makes it that much easier for players to use your prefabs, your blueprints in their parks without having to fiddle with terrain or figure out where you intended it to be. Stuff like that. So I love that. And of course, in addition to that, we have lots of little updates and changes to, quality of life stuff, bug fixes, things like that. It's all available on their website for Update 7 and the Steam page. I think they have an update for that kind of lists everything. So I won't sit here and go over all of it for you. But there is one more thing that I want to talk about before I let you go, and that is the future. So if we hop on over here to the Trello page for Prehistoric Kingdom, this is essentially the roadmap for what Prehistoric Kingdom has planned. And you can see across the top here, we have update 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, with a list of different things that they are hoping to add for those updates. Now, we have a little bit of news on Update 8 where they said animal locomotion is going to be majorly overhauled. Looks like swimming and look targets, maybe new species, socializing animations, things like that. So all very good things. Herding and packing overhauled social needs. I'm so excited for this update. as I really play these games to build pretty things and look at pretty animals. And I'm absolutely going to enjoy, I'm sure, all of the new animations that they're adding with those guys. But what I wanted to bring your attention to is all the way over here for update 11. Breeding and ontogeny. I'm so excited. There's really nothing if you click on this that comes up any more than that. Animals will look like other creatures or objects. I don't really know what that means, but breeding. So baby dinosaurs. That's something that I really have been missing. Obviously, breeding your animals and looking at baby animals in other games such as Planet Zoo. I hate to keep bringing it up, but so much a part of the game and so liked by many of the players, obviously. When you have a zoological facility or a park or whatever, you want to breed your animals and have more of them. So to have baby dinosaurs, I'm very excited. So I'm just curious how it's going to work, but I wanted to quickly point out that for you for update 11. Other than that, I mean, we have some pretty good updates. Almost every update says new species, ? So obviously a lot more animals. Update 14 basically says all new species. So we might be getting a lot of new animals with that. But if you're interested in checking this out in more detail and kind of scrolling through all of these, you can find this. This is their public roadmap. It's accessible to everyone, and you can go ahead and check it out. And that's it. That's all I got for you. Prehistoric Kingdom continues to add wonderful updates, quality of life fixes, bug fixes. The devs are on it, and they're an absolutely amazing team. Very, very excited to see what they have for the future. If you made it this far in the video, and of course, if you're enjoying Prehistoric Kingdom or just my video in general, you know what to do. All the YouTube engagement stuff, like leaving a comment, leaving a like, and of course, the big one, hitting the subscribe button, really helps me out in more ways than you know, and I greatly do appreciate it. You can follow me on any of my other social media sites. All those links are down in the description for you, including my Etsy store if you want to support the channel just a little bit and get something in return, as well as the Discord if you want to join the community, chat about games, get help, share inspiration, and just overall be a part of a really cool little community. Until next time, I appreciate you as always, and I will talk at you guys in the next video. Bye!